Let's discuss. Hey everyone, it's Rachel back again with another video, and today I'm going to be checking out a new track from Sheridan, which is a band I've covered a lot of at this point on the channel. A very exciting band to me. It's been a minute since we've heard new music from them, but this single that I'll be checking out today, called Maze, is the title track taken from an upcoming 16-track LP. I think they're planning on releasing one song every week from now, at the time I'm filming this, until Christmas of this year, which is a huge track list for any album, let alone one being announced and weekly, releasing until the end of this year. So that is very exciting. I will link all of the band's social media promotional links if there are any sort of pre-orders or physical copies of the album. All of that will be linked in the description of this video. I'm going to stop talking and we are going to get straight into it.
Until I am again. Another fragment to a grasp, that there is nothing to understand, that there is nothing, so they may fly from demons. There's not a thing that I take it I could. I'm dancing in the rain.
Ooh, hello, bass.
And we're all just trying to make sense of this. Reasons of ambivalence. Not doubting something is different than it should. Because of that was the truth and surely won. And we're all just trying to make sense of this. As we look over Genesis. And at times, this illusion to amaze us to tyrants. Don't do it to us. No option to the actions. To understand, you're right at the entrance. Come back again. In this maze, we are safe at your side.
Oh,
There's something in the lights we're brighter. There's not a thing that I take it I could. I'm dancing in the rain, and what is our rights? And we're all just trying to make sense of this. Reasons of ambivalence. Not doubting something is different than it should. Because of that was the truth and surely won. And we're all just trying to make sense of this. As we look over Genesis. Again, let's try to make sense of this. Presence of ambivalence. And there's no sense, it's not the end. I am again until I'm present. There's not a thing that I take it I could. I'm dancing in the rain, like waters the walls. And we're all just trying to make sense of this. Reasons of ambivalence. Not doubting something is different than it should. Because of that
yep.
was the truth.
Tell them proms and stuff.
And we're all just trying to make sense of this. As we look
Woo.
over Genesis.
Woohoo. Sheridan, Maze. Let's discuss. Another very strong track from Sheridan. I do feel like this one takes a little bit more of a spread approach with the heaviness. It doesn't necessarily feel like it builds to one big breakdown when you think of tracks like the Heist. Some of those drops are pretty notable with the song's sound, whereas this feels much different. The chorus feels in that same vein. It has the Sheridan catchiness that I'm looking for. Their vocalist is extremely unique sounding in terms of those like kind of in between the singing and screaming, like that mid area that's very gritty that I talk about a lot on the channel because I really enjoy it. They have that down to a science, and it's no different with this track, but I do feel what is different is that approach to the heaviness. It's got some pretty chunky portions in the verses, and as you go into that outro, and it does leave me wondering with the 15 other tracks that are on this 16 track LP, where that may go, because their breakdowns are something I feel are to be longed for, but it doesn't necessarily do an injustice to that sound, if that makes sense. So while it's present, it doesn't come to like this big like ass beating breakdown or a really like a identifiable part where you're like, oh, this built up to this. It's sort of spread out throughout the track. The chorus, again, I just want to highlight how big of a draw that is to their sound for me. It's a big part of what I associate with this band. Not so much that the drops and the heaviness, like that's not a true necessity for me for what they're going for, I don't think. While when it happens, it does have that feel of like, oh, that's like that Sheridan breakdown. I feel like parts of that are sort of like broken up and included in this track, just not to build to such an identifiable drop, which is not necessarily a bad thing at all. It doesn't feel like you were like, we're not going to include so much heavy on this track or anything. It just feels dispersed much differently, if that makes sense. It's got some big riff moments. If you listen around 155 to the riff that's going on there, it's a very expressive form of guitar that I am very into. A little bit different of an approach than the majority of the stuff that I would say is included on like my riff of the year playlist and stuff. It's a lot of very technical, tappy stuff, I think, for the most part, while this takes a little bit of a different form, but still very notable for me. And that portion of the song, I think, kind of taps into like the lighter sound that they give off and kind of doing more with the singing, while of course the chorus does the majority of the legwork, being the catchy, the style that I really associate with the band, that sort of thing. There's definitely more to pick up on than that. A lot of great sounding bass throughout this entire track as well, which is something I am usually looking for. If you've watched a good amount of my content, you probably know that. This certainly scratches that itch. Something that's very bass prominent, this would do the job for me for sure. So on first listen, there's not really anything I would want to see necessarily different. While I love the more identifiable, this built up to this sort of very aggressive breakdown or even a drop, whatever. While I miss that, I feel like with a 16 track EP, we're probably going to get some different variations of Sheridan, which I'm just excited for. So there's not necessarily anything coming in on the first single from this big release that I would want to see different, because I'm still confident the things that I want from Sheridan are to come in the rest of the releases, while this still gives me a form of Sheridan that I'm looking for, if that makes sense. The chorus is huge. Everything I've mentioned, I don't want to run in circles too much, so I'm very excited for this. I will do my best to stay on top of all of the releases if I can. Maybe if I get I miss a week, then I'll do 2 for the following week, something like that. But I will do my best to stay on top of the release method that they are going for. I love this band. I've talked a lot about them on the channel now. Listening to this track, I don't feel like they've missed a beat at all, so I will continue covering them, of course, as much as I possibly can. As much as I possibly can. I will link all of their social media, promotional links, anything you can do to support Sheridan that I can find. I will link in the description of this video. You can also find my link tree there, which will have my Patreon, my Twitch channel, the Discord server invite link, any link that is relative to my channel, you should be able to find in that link tree. Twitch is where I am doing all of my streaming now. That includes my weekly request streams that used to take place on YouTube. Those now are also on twitch.tv/RachelReacts every Tuesday at 1 p.m. Mountain Time, which is 3 p.m. EST and 7 p.m. GMT right now with the current time situation, but that will change once time change happens again. But I am streaming over on Twitch. In addition to that stuff, I have some more themed, still music related streams I'll be doing, so if you want to be notified when I go live and what those streams are, please feel free to follow the Twitch in the link tree in the description. And my Patreon, I'm offering more stuff now than I was a few weeks ago. I still have a couple of things I want to work into the tiers to offer, but everything I do currently offer is listed there, including the mixtape/playlist for tier 3, various additional content that's uploaded for all tiers, voting for 2023 album, EP, song, breakdown, chorus, riff of the year. All that stuff is over on Patreon if you want to check out what I'm offering, as well as the Discord server invite link, which is free, and that is where the community is based for my YouTube channel. We've got a lot of really amazing people in there, so if you want to come join, check out the community. That will be there as well. As always, thank you very much for watching. I appreciate it.